So we're just going to get started here. I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Brow Wiz, which has a spoolie on one end and just like a little angled tip on the other side. And I'm not sure what color I'm in. I think it's medium brown, deep brown. I'm not sure. I don't have any of my makeup products in front of me. I'm sitting in my bed doing my voiceover because I just got off work and I'm just going to be comfortable. So to start off, you're going to go ahead and draw the bottom of the eyebrow on to really clean it up. And then you'll go to the top. And I don't really like to define the top of my brow very much. Kind of like to make it look a little bit more natural. And all I do there is I will go and do little single brow hair strokes through my eyebrow. And nothing too crazy. But I'm actually editing on like a new software and I can't figure out how to make my videos go faster, so I'll just show you a little bit of snippets here and there and then just kind of cut, because it actually took me I think an hour to do my makeup, because trying to video and do your makeup at the same time is a little more difficult than me just doing it on just a regular day without having to worry about the camera. And if you guys can see what I'm doing, but right now all I'm doing is really defining the outer part of my eyebrow, and I really don't like to do anything except add some hair strokes to the front of my brow, leaving it more like bushy and natural. Here I'm taking a Tarte Shape Tape concealer on my concealer brush that I got at Walmart. It's $1 from e.l.f. and I'm just cleaning up the under part of my eyebrow. And on the top part of my eyebrow, I actually go in with foundation because it's a lot easier to blend out later into my skin if I go in with that as opposed to a lighter concealer. And your brows, it doesn't really matter if they're messy to begin with, like that's perfectly fine, because you can just clean it up later with the concealer. And right now what I'm doing is going in with my Fenty primer, and I actually am going to do my my eyeshadow right after this step, but I like to go ahead and do my primer because it's good to let your primer sit on your skin longer. And so doing this before my eyeshadow gives it time to set while I'm doing my eyeshadow. This is actually a new primer that I just got and I absolutely love it. I'm using just a facial spray and patting it into my skin with my hands. You can use a beauty blender, but I just use my hands because they're clean. This is my first time using my Norvina eyeshadow palette that I got for Christmas. It's I can't remember what color that, Essence maybe. I'm not really 100% sure. My finger was blocking the color, but these are Morphe blending brushes and I do not know the names of them, but just any fluffy blending brush will do the job. What you're going to want to do is to use just back and forth motions in your crease, slowly going upwards. This one is eccentric, I believe. It's a more of an orangey tone color, and I'm using this to kind of warm up the look. On the top part, I'm going in on above the eyeshadow that I just placed and going higher up towards my brow bone. And I like this because it kind of gives like a, I don't know, like this sunset effect to my eyes, which I like. Now I'm going in with the shade Passion on one of the brushes that was in another palette that's in my brush kit. I'm not really sure what palette it came out of, but they're all the same brushes. I'm going in with the I'm going in with the smaller, more condensed brush because this will be better to pack on more pigment, which is what I want my outer edge of my eye to be darker than the rest of my eye, and so I'll take a more flat, dense brush to pack that on, and then I go and flip over that brush and use the other side, and this is just a fluffy blending. It doesn't have any product on it. I'm just using it to diffuse those edges so it's not so harsh. And I really like the brushes that come in the Anastasia eyeshadow palettes. They're really good. I'm not sure what color that was. Passion? No, that was the deeper one. I don't know what color that was. I'm sorry, guys. This is a terrible video, but I'm just using a smaller brush to really get in there and be precise. This shade was okay, wait, I think it was rose something. Rose quartz? Rose, I don't know. I'm just using this and really going in. It had like it was so pretty. My camera sucks and it's not showing how good it was. But it was a really pretty color. And I actually went and added more, but didn't get that on video because trying to figure out this new editing thing, and it's a lot. I'm going in with my MAC foundation, and as you can tell, I'm holding a Morphe sponge, and I originally tried using it I cut that out of the video because it was so bad. Like, it was just not working, and it's like so like hard and not soft at all, and I like my sponges to be like really nice and soft. This is the Real Techniques one that you can buy at just any drugstore, and it's so much better than the Morphe sponge. Do not recommend, do not like that sponge at all. Right now I'm just going in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm going to use this to brighten parts of the face to keep it from looking so flat and dead and lifeless. But mostly I have really terrible bags under my eyes because I stay up way too late and then have to go to work in the morning. Love my life. But again, this is just going to keep your face from looking so flat. This is, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm not redoing this. You're just going to have to deal with me being an idiot for 13 minutes. Okay? Thanks. What you're going to do is take your sponge and really blend out this under your eyes, and this Tarte Shape Tape Concealer is my favorite concealer of all time. If you're looking for something a little less expensive, I would go for a Maybelline concealer because those are good too. You're going to take some powder. I'm using Airspun translucent powder and kind of tapping the excess off on my hand. I've learned that you can't be a beauty guru and pack on 10 pounds of it and expect it not to look cakey and nasty. I don't know how they do it, but just use a small little bitty bit of it. You don't have to bake your face, okay? Thanks. Don't do that. It looks nasty. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and blend out anything that's creased before you set it. Because if you set it and it has already creased, you will have wrinkles under your eyes because you're setting it that way. Make sure you don't set it before. Okay, thanks. Now you're going to go in with some bronzer or contour powder, whichever you prefer. My favorite is Bobbi Brown. I also used Kat Von D, but it was sitting on my desk, and I was too lazy to go and get it, so Bobbi Brown it was. This is also a Morphe brush from, I believe, Jaclyn Hill Favorites. I think it's an R2. Not 100% positive. But it's just my favorite brush to get the job done. It's huge and takes less time. Make sure you do your forehead, do your cheekbones, and make sure and blend your double chin away. That's my favorite. And right now I'm just taking an Eco Tools sponge and really defining my cheekbones because why not? This just makes it look clean, and it's one of my favorite steps because it just cleans everything up. It makes my face look like I didn't just throw it on, which is usual. And it took me about 30 minutes to get that much payoff from my MAC blush because it's not very pigmented, which you would want in a blush, but I like to have a lot of blush, so I really dig my brush into it to get it to actually show up. And I look like a crazy person when I first apply it, but as you keep going through your makeup routine, that blush will slowly fade from blending and wiping and pressing stuff into the skin. So don't be afraid to pack a bunch of blush on because it will slowly fade anyways. Like, you'll be good. It'll go away. And I use stippling motions because, like I said, I like it to be pigmented. And if you use a wiping motion, that's not going to really layer it. If you press it and push it into the skin, it's going to really make it show up a lot better. Right now I'm using another Morphe brush. Not really sure what the name of this one is. And a Becca highlight. This was the one that Jaclyn Hill helped create. This is Champagne Pop. And don't be that person that just one little swipe and you just leave a straight line across your cheekbone. You really need to blend it out just like the same way you would an eyeshadow. And really make sure it's not a line, it actually looks blended. Because that is just not my fave. I also like to apply this to the top of my lip, my Cupid's bow. I like to apply it to the center of my nose and a little bit on my butt crack, chin, and my forehead area, a little bit above my brows, kind of lift my eyes up a little bit. And you could go in with a more defined brush to go into the inner corner, but I'm lazy and don't want to have to pick up another brush, so I just use the huge one and hope that it works, because why not? And then I'm going in with this Tatcha spray, which is super, super expensive. Let me pick my nose first. But this spray, I'm not sure if I love it or if I hate it yet. This is me thinking about how expensive it is and me using 10 pounds of it anyways. But it's like when I first apply it, it's really, really dewy and pretty and nice and I like it. And then it's like later when I get home, I'm like, oh my God, what happened to my face? I don't know if it's the spray or not. I'm going to keep testing it. I'm not sure. But as of right now, when I first put it on, I love it. It makes my face look so good. It makes my skin look so like soft and dewy and glowy. And I don't know. Again, I seen a Jaclyn Hill video and had to try it. A little goes a long way and I usually use too much. But just go ahead and go over it with the clean part of your beauty blender and really press it into the skin, because that's my favorite way to do it. Now I'm going in with a Jeffree Star liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Celebrity Skin. I actually just recently not recently, a few months ago. I've been testing out his liquid lipsticks, which are my absolutely favorite. I've tried the Anastasia ones. They're super drying. Probably the most drying liquid lip I have ever tried. And then I've also tried the Kylie Cosmetics ones, and those are a little all over the place. If you get more pigmented shades, the drier they are. So I have Dolce K, which is one of my favorite nude lips that I have. Plus this one, like, they're kind of head to head, but it's not so dark, so it's not as drying as her other ones. I think True Brown K was the other one I had, and oh my God, my lips were like the Sahara Desert. But right now, I am applying some mascara. I had actually been applying it and realized that I didn't record, so I had to hit record and just kind of show you guys what I was doing. But this is a L'Oreal mascara. I love mascaras from the drugstore, especially this one. And that's it, I guess, guys. Peace. Love you.